Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Bring the Heat podcast, episode 4. Of course, I'm your gracious host, Tap Tony. I'm joined by my lovely friends Joe Quickdraw Basso, Tom Bones Only Bamford, I got you this time, and of course Jamie or Vertex JDU, if you don't know. And we're here to talk esports and everything else under the sun. How are we doing this evening, boys?
Living the dream.
Love it, life.
Yeah, good chat.
Good chat, boys. Good chat, boys. Nah, fucking good.
Same shit, different week. We're here to talk shit as per normal.
I've got an ABN this time.
Thank you. We'd like to thank everybody for actually. Like to thank everyone as well for continuously giving us stuff to talk about. You're all idiots, but thank you for the content. Anyway, I guess Jamie, if you want to start things off, we'd just like to get you to do a little introduction. I guess, who are you? What's your role? How long have you been in esports? You know, the very generic shit that everyone likes to hear at the start of every podcast.
All right. Well, like they said, my name's Jamie. I'm the director of the Australian Esports Network with an official registered ABN, as I'm sure many organisations these days are starting to come to and finally actually realise that they have to have one. And also the director of Vertex Esports Club, and probably been in esports officially, like with AEN and Vertex, for about 3 years now. I think we started in 2018, but been in gaming for as long as I can remember. I'm sure, like the rest of you blokes. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, there you go. So that's Jamie from Vertex. And at least this week we have got a couple of different topics that I'd say is going to spark a bit of a flare, at least in Jamie's heart, because there are a couple of topics here which we all like to discuss briefly, because some of them are just absolutely ridiculous in my mind. But, you know, we are going to start things off pretty swiftly. Straight away, we're heading into, I guess, I'd say one of the more abrupt topics that I want to bring up as well, which is more so a lot of teams just not tweeting about their teams mid-event. Specifically looking at Fortnite clans, I'm looking at UGLM. Fucking tweet about your teams, you pieces of shit. Basically, they haven't tweeted anything about their COD team since March 3rd when they picked them up. So I'm shooting straight off the bat. Fucking tweet about your team.
Mm-hmm. In a one, I think it's like a 500,000 USD or close to $1 million prize pool season as well. And they were also playing in the LCQ recently, which was for a $50,000 tournament. Like, I deal a little bit with the COD guys, like I have through like AEN for a few years now, and that pisses me off to a lot of degrees, because they'd rather tweet about how many likes they can get for how many people they're going to pick up for their rosters, rather than their actual roster playing in a tournament. So, bit of a kick in the nuts, I think.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I think I'm going to pull up their Twitter real quick. Like, I'm not ashamed to go straight into this, because I find this very obnoxious myself as well. And like, I even talked to one of their management members, and they said, "What's the point if it doesn't get engagement?"
Wait, you're talking about GLM,
engagement. Right? So if I was paying people to play the game, and I didn't promote them, you may as well just throw your money into fire. It's just burning cash as it is. But just looking at their Twitter, like, for the most part, it's all just bait shit. Every single day there's something new. Just looking, it's interactive. Everyone's liking it, but literally every single tweet is just some very bait, interactive bullshit. Honestly,
Shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Fortnite shit. They probably don't have an ABN either. They better announce it.
Yeah.
But,
coming next week.
I can't believe it. Next week we're going to cover that. I don't know, but honestly, like, I feel across the board, like, there's a lot of teams that just don't bother, because I think the engagement's more, I guess, abrupt. And I really think GLM, like, they've got the engagement, but you need to start putting your teams out a bit more, because you compare these guys to an org like Overt, right, where we were touching on this last week, where they do have the highest engagement, at least in OCE. They tweet about their teams as well, and that interaction kind of crosses paths between both different scenes as well.
It's cross-pollination, right? Like, you bring in those interactions from those shitty tweets, and you actually, even if you're not paying these COD guys, like, I don't know if they are, whether they are or not, but if you bring someone on for your brand, at least give them the general respect to actually showcase their own personal brands, because it's, like I said, it's cross-pollination. Everything, well, I think someone said all rising tides float all ships. I'm pretty sure that saying goes, or whatever the bloody hell it is. So, like, it's really not that hard. You put a lot of thought and effort into your shitty tweets. Like, just make a graphic up and tell them if they won or not. Like, it's not hard.
Just give us the score at least, or like, we didn't have a great game or a great week. We'll be back better next week. Something, give the fans a bit of hope as well.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, it's another thing as well when you're posting. I like, the bait shit in Fortnite. It's pretty generic. You bait people to get engagements, and people fall for it, obviously, because most kids are under, 15 and such, as we've touched on before. And I think really this is the next generation that, is going to be the ones who, step up to the plate and start to, build their own brands as well. But if this is what we have to look forward to in the future, I don't want to be a part of it, honestly. Like this is concerning. Just looking at some of this shit, like it's not just them. I put them on fire a little bit for obvious reasons, and I think it's fair enough. Personally, I can call out who I want here, and you can contact me in messages if you're pissed about it. I don't give a shit. You're like, it's just facts, honestly.
Yep. Quick draw with a 1 and an underscore, boys. If you need to direct any of your angry comments, his Twitter DMs are, I believe, open. And I don't want to, leave too much for sour taste, but yeah, there's definitely like a ton of like even like getting up there top orgs, I believe, that are just not tweeting about their rosters, not specifically bait tweets per se, but just not tweeting at all. Like some teams, I believe, Paradox call to mind, shots fired at Paradox, not really, tweeting about their roster at all. And, Paradox is a well-respected team, at least in CS. They've got a really good Apex team from memory as well.
Yeah, so they're Brazil guys basically won the Brazilian World Champs for Apex last season. They did really well with that. I know recently, I think it's Themes. He's the one that's, the one that looks after the Twitter, and like they've started tweeting more. Like even today for their grand final, they're putting out tweets and doing live coverage for that, which I can respect as well, despite the engagement being horrible. Which again, not about it. Promote your teams. That's what they're doing, and I have some respect for teams who are stepping up to the plate and doing it. But
At least trying.
yeah, you got to give it a crack. And even then, honestly, again, teams who don't post their losses, like you just saw losers. Honestly, like you need to put it up. Like even if you get flogged, just put it up. Have a meme about it. Have a laugh. Because end of the day, you've lost the game. People have watched it, so you may as well, admit it as well. But I think that's a good note, Tony, as well, because Paradox as a team, they barely tweeted up until probably about maybe 2-3 months ago about everything, where they've started getting back into it.
Yeah.
Is that after they got hacked?
Well, that entire ordeal, I think they've done well with that as well, honestly. Like they handled that pretty well overall.
Yeah. And none of this is really to rag on anyone either, is it? It's basically to grow the scene. You have to create. You have to create. You have to like build this scene up. Where the smaller scene, like you and I, Joe, touched base on this a few months ago when we did our old podcast.
Yeah.
Like it's you have to create your own identity. You can't just be these meme tweet orgs or just a nothing org. Like your team's can only carry you so far. You have to like build your own personal brand to a certain degree. Like even us, like we're not perfect. I think we can do things better as well. But I think you have to start somewhere at least. I mean, today we played the Call of Duty Grand Final for the Challengers League, and I don't even think Renegades tweeted that they won. Like I'm assuming maybe their Australian social media managers probably not around, and they like the guy who does is in North America, and the time zones are a bit different. But literally nothing from what I've seen anyway. Like I think they liked a few tweets maybe 3 or 4 hours ago. That was it.
No, they did actually.
They did finally.
So they're around 3 hours ago. So they put up the the grand finals victory card against you guys, and also back-to-back champs. Which
but still there. Like maybe a little bit of coverage in the biggest event. Like post a clip. They won 3 maps off us in a row. Like there were some big moments too. Pred went insane. There was a lot of big moments there. Like surely just a little bit more love, especially for the COD guys. Like I think they deserve it.
Yeah, which is completely respectable as well, because we touched base on last week about the COD scene as well, and how I guess the streaming side of things as well, with a lot of the games not being streamed for the most part, and it's all relied on the players. It is a little bit rough, especially I guess for you guys as orgs being involved in COD like we were previously. It's a very rough gig as well to get promotional tweets out regarding clips, especially when you just don't know where the stream is or no one's streaming it.
Well, Cronus Kun from our guys, like he was the only one in APAC to stream the grand final. He had 500 viewers pretty much all day.
Jeez.
Like it's literally free views. Like I don't understand it. They literally streamed it. They casted it. They had an observer in the actual lobby, and they just recorded it. They're now going to get the casters to cast over it and play it on a replay tomorrow.
Oh, what?
Jeez.
Like,
That's-
why? I don't,
Fuck. That sounds like a vibe.
yeah, I don't
The
know. I really don't know.
fuck? Yeah, Tony, sign up for that. You know,
Hey yo, hey yo.
do some VOD sessions.
This is my announcement. I'm coming to COD, boys. There you go.
Yeah, you
I guess.
mentioned it a few months back. I
Yeah.
remember this conversation.
Oh yeah, fucking hell.
But I guess speaking of losing teams and people not posting results and having a bit of beef. We have to
not beef, not beef.
not
having a
beef.
bit of
Chicken.
Have a
having a
sook.
bit,
Come
having
on.
a sook. All right, we'll touch on it a bit briefly. I don't know too much about it. Of course, Joe is putting here MoeycQ talking shit about Lese on Twitter despite losing to them twice, I believe, in a row.
Yeah, so the context behind that is I had their LPL finals match as well recently, where their semi-final match. Legion
wait,
won
I
the
casted
final,
that.
but
I
yeah,
casted
so
that. That's a good one.
the 8-ballers, basically the 8-baller CSGO team is meant to be like this development project which Moey is running, where they're trying to put 5 individuals together and start to put them together. Which they've made it for ANZ champs, good for them. They lost the grand final to us, unfortunate.
Sucks.
In ESEA.
Then ESEA Open for that, and then on top of that as well for LPL, basically Moey came out and said essentially they think they're on another level to Lese, and he's not impressed by the team either. Now, Lese went on and lost the final against Legion because they had to drop Archie due to IRL problems.
Yeah, they had to sub in a player.
But yeah, I think it's just, I think there's some really good comments that came out of this as well. So a couple of the players tweeting about it. Is it really a choke if you weren't winning to begin with?
But yeah, I remember that.
That is a banger.
They weren't in the lead at all.
Literally every game against Lese, they got shit on. So
that ancient game was kind of close though. I think it was internet issues
across the board. Like I know even with Michelle as well, the psych individual as well. Like she works with that team really, really closely, and they are definitely improving. But I think Moey coming out and saying that about a roster who has clearly beaten them numerous times, you really cannot just say that about a team. I think it's a bit of a weird take as well, especially when you're having a sook about saying you're on a different level, but you've lost 3 times to them as well. So it's a bit of dumb logic.
It's like the bad prac leading up and all that sort of stuff. Like that is part of the development of your roster. Like you have to understand that, like with you not pracking and doing all this groundwork in the lead up, Lese have probably done that. So that is why they are the better team on both of those occasions. Like I respect Mo. I think what he's doing for 8 balls is good, but I think that's probably a little bit out of I don't know, it's out of touch, I think. And I think it's in poor taste to kind of rip on not only your team, but the opposition team. And,
I mean, not to be that guy, they both qualified for ANZ. They both, Lese qualified for Premier. They didn't. Boo-hoo. Lese went to the LPL Challenger Finals. They didn't. Boo-hoo. Get shit on.
Yeah, just get good,
like,
kid.
You lost. Like, on it, like you got to accept it. Like, I think if you put up a tweet saying, I feel if you put up a tweet saying like, not really a choke per se, but like the very generic thing saying we could have done better. This is what we could have done, instead of blatantly saying I think we're better than Lese. Everyone thinks they're better than another team, but results are one thing. In comparison to the other side of things, where you think you're better, but you lose the game still. So I think results kind of just speak for themselves.
It's like us saying we're better than Divals when they beat us 11 times in a row.
Yeah.
like fuck. Like what do you want me? Like what do you want to do, man? Like,
listen, you guys may be getting dumpstered by Direwolves sometimes, but your logo's still better, right? It's still
100%.
Yeah, mate.
100%.
Hey, mate, I designed my logo after 6 beers and in 15 minutes. They had to pay someone to do that. So,
do well. Living the good life.
Fucking outplayed.
It's a bit weird how their HQ in New Zealand has Vertex logos instead of Direwolves.
I know.
Yeah,
It's
Jesus
copyright infringement, I'd say.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's not get into that. That's a can of worms.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, I hope 8-ballers can improve for the future. That's just like a really small segment. Again, nothing against the players or, the brand or anyone in it. I just think it's a bit out of poor taste for 20, something like that in general. But just to touch briefly on the Valorant results recently as well, touching on last weekend where we were touching on Mindfreak basically having an extremely tough gig, and they need to beat Billings basically to get through, which they did. So
Yeah,
I
raise
can
your
eat my words on
bananas.
that. And raise your bananas as well, because
Raise your
the
bananas.
Monkeys getting through to the close qualifiers. So over the ex Kanga boys or over Palstrike, they basically got their way through. Again, I still think Mindfreak needs to prove themselves, even though it's against villains. If you lost that, you look like shit. You win that, you've got some hope. I think they're coming up against Wildcard next as well, so good luck with that. But yeah, it's going to be a rough kick.
We definitely don't know what the matchups are, but for the moment, as it stands at the regional finals, it's going to be Order, Sots, Bliss, Wildcard as your top 4 seed, and of course Nebula, Peace, Funky Monkeys, Mindfreak to join them. And as we said again last week, Nebula pulling up big results here to get into the regional finals. Peace as well as a core of 4, not a solidified 5th. Going all the way to regionals is absolutely insane for stage 3. Peace still a roster that's kind of building here. Funky Monkeys as well. Big ups to them being one of probably the best underdogs at the moment, qualifying through open quals, closed quals. Normally you see some of these teams that have just formed together in the past few weeks play that, of course, open qual, get into the closed qual, and then they get dumpstered by the more experienced teams like Mindfreak, Nebula, and Peace and all that. But Funky Monkeys, they did the run. They miracle ran it all the way through, and of course a core of 3, as you said, from the old Kanga over Palstrike roster, as well with Firms, who I believe was an Evo player before his time. We actually had the pleasure of playing against him on the boat. Old genuine gaming for Firms, very sharp individual, and he's swapped up the roles a bit. He's playing the Jet now. Jordation, Overwatch star, 6-time MVP, as we said on the broadcast. I have high hopes for this Funky Monkeys roster. I hope to see them do well here.
They've only been together for 7 officials now, haven't they? 7 or 8 officials. Like I've been keeping an eye on. I've been keeping an eye on like the Valorant rankings and all that sort of stuff. Try and dabble a little bit. Love to kind of keep up to date with Valorant a little bit more. And like I've just kind of clicked on their names a few times. They've been together for like not that very long. 7 officials already in the top 10 or whatever it is. So, and to do something like that, do the run, open quals, close quals, straight into the finals. So.
Yeah. So Vertex Valorant, what I'm hearing? Vertex Valorant?
I can't comment. Yeah.
All right.
He's got the same logic as I do, because we picked up our guys recently as well. I think it's more the case just finding the right team who's not completely got their head stuck up their ass. So I think that's the appropriate way of putting it. The other Palstrike boys, they have been together for a while. Like the core 3 has been around for over a year, which is quite good. But yeah, I mean, Valorant's interesting. Obviously, we've got the next part of the qualifiers coming soon as well, so we'll make sure to cover that a little bit further, at least heading into that as well.
And I guess you alluded to it, but big ups with as an org, Fury, we've signed a new Valorant team, and
congratulations.
A sick new montage. Don't need to toot my own horn here, but yeah.
Shut up, Tony.
Shut up. It's good to see Fury enter Valorant again, but we'll move on to our next topic. Speaking of roster announcement, Trident, who don't seem to die at all. It should be buried 6 foot under like Atlantis was.
With Skyfire.
They've announced a new academy roster for Counter-Strike. Joe, I know you love to touch on this, so take it away.
Well, for starters, I'm calling out Ben Crenux. Why the fuck would you do this? First, you're a manager for us. I said you could do this, but I didn't expect you to go with Trident. So you've kind of just betrayed my trust. Anywho, worst org announcement in history. I don't know if you've seen it, Jamie, but
no, I have now. Ever since you posted it to me. Yeah, very interesting.
Oh, this is worse than a Fortnite clan. Fucking hell.
Wait, they didn't even make like a graphic.
That's what I'm saying, Tony.
No, it's literally.
Tell me you have no budget without telling me you have no budget.
But this is literally not to talk like complete shit, but this is literally Trident, who used to have like one of the top 2 teams in the region like 6 years ago. In CS, used to play on like AEN, I think it was, or something. I forgot what it was. AEL or something.
AEL, I think. Yeah.
AEL, yeah. So they used to have one of the top teams at Dynasty back then. I remember that with like JCW and stuff. But oh god, the mighty have fallen. Honestly, like I think that's the big thing with Trident. And you know, I hope nothing against the team. Obviously, I hope they do well. But what a fucking shocker of an announcement! Like, put some effort into it.
I think
honestly,
I think that might be just as bad as tweeting meme tweets when your team's playing in an event. I think
hold up.
I think that's disrespectful on a different level. Like,
what the worst part is, he put error 404 graphics not found.
Dude, download fucking Paint. Like, make a meme out of it. Like, do something funny. Like, that's. I don't know what that is. I genuinely don't know what that is. I had no idea that was happening until you actually linked me that tweet, Joe. Like, I had no idea.
I mentally just cannot comprehend what I'm looking at, because I messaged Krenox from the team as well, because he's like he's our Siege and CS manager at the moment, just working between the two, and I'm just like, how the fuck did you let this happen? And he's just like, I don't know. It's like, I think it's just disrespectful, honestly, because Trident's gone through more CSGO teams than we've had Fortnite orgs in this fucking region. I swear to God. And even then, this is their academy team, but they don't have a main team, so I would call them the main team. Is that not how it works?
Yeah, like
I suppose, yeah.
I thought academy team was like under 18s. Like, isn't Ben like 40?
Ben's like 26.
Yeah, but like, how does he fit into an academy? What the fuck?
None of those players are under 18, but I think academy is more so just a development process. But there's different terms for it. But
it's basically a way of saying we're not paying our players. We'll just give them a chance to compete under an org, I suppose.
We give
settle
them
down,
exposure,
Naked. Settle down.
We don't do graphics though. I wonder if they have any scorecards done up for their actual graphics when they play, or if they'll even post, for that matter. Maybe even then. But I wanted to touch on that briefly because I think it's just absolute horse. People have to, like, it's disrespectful to your players, man. Put some effort. Like, honestly, I think like they're probably an org that just pays fees, and maybe the team's just popped in because they pay the fees. Let's be honest.
Yeah, which is fair enough, right? But like fuck. Like, watch a 10-minute tutorial on how to make a Photoshop graphic. Like, you have your logo already. You have the CSGO logo. Literally Google CSGO render, copy, paste, background. Here's our fucking roster. Like,
go get the FE graphic designer. You know,
I would have given them my PSD or some shit like that, and just told them to change the color to blue. I don't care. Like, I don't know.
Something.
Anyway.
Shit.
Yeah, that's
moving on.
Tony, next one. Tony, moving on.
Classic Trident as always. But we'll move on to I guess a little bit more of a serious topic. Twitch Australia will not be at PAX this year, and we still don't know if PAX is getting cancelled or what. More than likely so, considering the outbreak that's infected literally everywhere in the country.
Yeah, sorry guys.
Sydney is not the country, by the way. Just wanted to say that.
Yeah,
close enough at this point.
Yeah, listen, I mean, Sydney's a mess, but I'm very disappointed as Twitch was wanting to be there, because this would have been the first PAX that Tony and myself would have gone as Twitch partners as well. So
we wanted them water bottles.
We wanted those water bottles, branded water bottles, by the way, not just water bottles. It's not that Mount Franklin.
Oh, you'd be surprised what's actually... It's Mount Franklin, usually. with a purple cap. That's what it is.
I don't think it's a good sign, because Sydney's not going to be in a good state until probably next year. I'd say maybe February or March.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel if PAX is going to go ahead, they're going to block out Sydney completely.
Say we just bomb it.
What's going to end up happening? Or because at the
Fuck,
Tom.
I live here.
I'll give you a warning to get to the coast.
Jesus.
The coast is where it is. Because then they'll bring COVID to the coast. That's what they've already done.
Yeah.
Nah.
I mean,
that's where napalm strike it.
That's where it started originally, you idiots. Like,
that's close enough.
That's how it works. But
so work it back
like,
home.
in all honesty, like, even if PAX gets cancelled, I'm still probably going to go to Melbourne if restrictions are okay between SA and Melbourne. Like, PAX will get refunded. Like, that's bound to happen, or it'll get delayed until next year. But I think beers won't, the Airbnb won't, the flights won't.
Yeah.
So, if it's going ahead, I know the SA gang is probably still going to go, but it's going to be rough because they haven't said anything. Like, it's maybe 2 months away. That's the concerning part.
Last minute.
I
Last
think
minute.
they're probably keeping their fingers crossed and hopes high as well that they can keep it going as long as the Melbourne outbreak gets contained. But I don't know. We thought that in Sydney when we're only seeing 12 cases a day. Oh yeah, we should be right. Don't worry about it.
We'll be all right. And then we'll have 2 protests. We'll allow everybody to walk around in lockdown. Yeah. Again, I think it was like 330 cases yesterday as well. So it's still
Was it
going
today?
up.
Yeah.
Today was like 320.
Yo, you keep going up. God damn.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry, 262 today.
Yeah,
And,
260
like,
or something today.
the thing is with that, it's like 80% of those cases are not traced. Like they're just like still trying to find them. It's like, well, by the time you find them, they've probably infected another like 500 people.
12 people, yeah. Oh, fuck, yeah. Then those 12 infect another 12. Then those 12
It's-
infect another
it's
12.
worse.
Is it? Yeah. I don't know, man.
Gotta use
Good
the
fun.
QR codes, man. Check
don't
in
know.
the
It just
places.
it does it is a massive hit for esports, so especially in our region, like we haven't had much. I mean, I don't know what the circumstances are in the UK and the US with
They're still
I
going.
know they're opening up, but apparently US had 150,000 cases at some day this week, and they've got nearly a 60% vaccination rate. So clearly the unvaccinated are still controlling. Not going to get into that topic. So
I go for it. Shit on them.
but you know what I mean? Like they're still able to. They're still having certain lands and events and all these certain things. But like us OCE guys, this is probably something that a lot of people were looking forward to, especially after the year that we had last year. I hope, especially for you guys down south, like I know for a fact I can't go now, so I'll be cheering you. You can have my Airbnb if you
I
want.
just want a holiday.
It's sitting there.
I just want a holiday. We've rented a
Airbnb per
penthouse for a
person.
week.
I hope.
Yeah, we got a penthouse somewhere.
I hope it goes ahead, like especially for the fact that it would be huge for gaming and all this culture in Australia, but like unfortunately it's not looking great.
No one has their hopes up, honestly.
Oh, I do.
It's a mess.
I do.
Ah,
Someone's got to
Represent people.
believe. Someone's got to believe,
listen,
alright?
you can be the believer, Tom. We'll let you
Yeah.
be the believer. But
Yeah.
I think it's a good way to go into the next topic, which unfortunately has to do with Ubisoft.
Woo!
We touched on it last week with Jimmy. The Mexico Major, which Knights did qualify for. Unfortunately, there has been an announcement to come out that they will not be attending due to COVID in Australia. Now, my logic is I think the players just said they didn't want to because of I think it would be a bit of a risk to actually leave and come back, obviously, after such a short period of time. Because that would be the only logical reason, because again, Renegades can fly for ESL Pro League. And for some reason, Knights can't.
Was this held in like a LAN setting, or was it they were going over to compete in an online setting?
Physical LAN setting.
Okay.
So Ubisoft already hosted the main event for Siege, the major event in Paris recently this year. So that was a success. Everything was running really, really smoothly. I know for a fact, end of the year, PUBG's probably going to be hosting their event. Probably, I think it's predicted to be in China or Korea or wherever it would be, somewhere where there's not many cases. And even in this situation in Mexico, like for the most part, a lot of people are vaccinated in Mexico and America, weirdly enough. So a lot of those teams as well from Europe are able to travel. But I think Knights have probably made the right call, especially in this status where probably a few of them are probably in Sydney and they may not be able to get an exemption to leave at this point. So, I mean, yeah, they've got to do what's safe for them.
Yeah, it's a bit of a bummer.
And Knights were looking really good, of course, going into the event too, I believe. Their qualifying games were pretty sound. I didn't catch too much of it. I looked at the scorecards, I believe, for them to qualify, and yeah, they looked really good going into this event. It's a shame to see them having to, announce that they can't attend it. It was going to be a good thing for at least OS as well, putting OS on the map again.
Yeah. I mean, we did even predict it as well last week when we were talking about who's going to qualify, because at least I got DM1 and Invictus bang on for the qualifier, so I'm happy with that. But yeah, pretty well the reps that are going to be for I think the cool thing as well for this, they're not replacing them with the 16th team. They're playing with 15, because everyone's just like, oh, who are you going to replace them in? And it's like, well, no one else deserves to go.
Yeah, no one else qualified.
Yeah,
because,
and they're also paying them out for the 13th to the 16th payout, which is good too. I mean, I suppose from an esports setting, especially going anywhere that isn't Australia at the moment, like I don't know how much you guys keep up to date with it, but apparently 2 of the Optic guys in Optic COD just got tested positive for COVID. I think it was Scump and Envoy. So,
Yep.
like, unfortunately, it's just not something that we can avoid. So, if it was the case, if maybe the players made the decision, look, we'd rather just take the 16th payout and be safe. Like, kudos to them. That's a huge decision, and like, has to be respected 100%. So, like I said, if that is the case, like, unfortunately, esports events aren't exempt from COVID. So,
I mean, it's still $5,000 USD they get, so it's grand per player. Like, it's still something they can get. Unfortunately, it's not going to be anything more, but it's still something they can collect, and they get 50 SI points as well for the next major event. So at least it's something. Like, it's not much, but I think for the most part, a lot of teams weren't really predicting for these guys to place maybe more than 9th. But yeah, it's unfortunate, but at least DM1, Invictus, and Cyclops are going to be there because they're going to be the ones who are kind of representing APAC as a whole instead of the Knights. So yeah, it's an unfortunate situation, but
yeah,
hopefully they'll bounce back when things do hopefully start to clear up a little bit in the future.
Yeah, shit happens.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I guess to move on. We're going from sour topic to sour topic here. Speaking about money, Mindfreak not playing their Rocket League roster. Apparently, they're owed over $2,000. I don't know if that's USD or AUD. I don't know what the agreement was, but
Was that each or?
Is that each? Yeah, Joe.
Yeah, is it each,
No,
Joe?
so apparently, basically, just for some context, Zaid came out with a statement on August 5th. So this is 3 days ago from recording this, basically saying they're leaving Mindfreak and the team has officially disbanded as well. Basically stating that there was a bunch of, I guess, issues with their payments and their signed agreements with the changeover of power in Mindfreak. Basically,
Go naked.
stepping back. So I think reading through the tweet longer, basically, according to their contract, they're meant to receive like a 30-day written notice via email before the termination. Where is it? So contract terminated on the 2nd of June, and then it says the earliest notice was given on June 2nd, which means the earliest contract, blah, blah, blah. Basically, along the lines of things, the last time they got paid was on the 5th of the 5th. So it's been 3 months since that point. So they're probably owed more than maybe $2,000 at this point.
So from my understanding is they were supposed to have a 30-day window where they would still be getting paid for that 30 days upon their basically notice of leave. So they would be told, look, we're not going to continue with the roster anymore, but you're still going to be paid for 30 days. But that 30 days, did that fall into the transition point between ownerships? I'm assuming that's what's happened. Like, is that that's what I gathered from the tweet longer?
At least from what it states, basically they've tried to talk to Naked. Apparently, I'm not sure if it's been resolved until yet because I haven't seen Naked tweet at all about it. He hasn't commented on it at all. He has tweeted since that statement came out, though, so he's probably seen it, but we've yet to see anything from him. But basically, he then forwarded us to MJ, who had no clue, no idea what was going on, and informed that he was not informed to pay the team. So basically, MJ basically said to them he can give them $500 each, which it's a kind gesture, but they're still not receiving their full payment, which they're contracted for. I feel it's a very shit situation because the team has been getting ghosted apparently. And I still find it rather ironic for somebody who I was actually talking to the Mindfreak Valorant guys asking if shit like this was happening to them a while back, and Naked had got me for that. I have nothing against Naked as an individual. Obviously, he's done plenty for the scene in the past as well in Call of Duty and such, but I find it rather fucking ironic how he tells me not to talk to their players about just asking general questions, and then this comes out about not paying his Rocket League team for that window. I think it's hypocritical.
It's
I'm
kind
not
of
afraid to
sus.
say that either. Like, it's a bit of a dick move. I just want to see this get resolved, honestly, because
It's very messy.
Yeah,
it's very messy.
Yeah, like the players have all the power right now because they're the ones that have come out with it, and Naked hasn't responded. So I hope it gets resolved. Fingers crossed it does. I don't really know what else to say, honestly, because it's just a shit situation. And again, this is another scenario where people just aren't getting paid. And I can easily swing this onto FE because none of their players have apparently been paid in the last month either. So
Oh damn!
go.
Fucking mic drop, bitch.
I'll just drop it. I mean, you know, I've
that
been
wasn't
talking
part
about
of the regime, Joe.
it's,
I don't
it's
have
not
that in my
part of
notes.
it.
I got no
No,
comments.
it's
Turn off
it's not my
script.
notes. Rough script. But like, it's shit. It's so shit. Pay your players. I said that. I tweeted this out randomly the other day. I said, pay your fucking players. I say this every time that shit like this happens.
This is a
And-
weekly comment.
It's
At this
literally a
point.
weekly. It's a weekly event. Like even I'm gonna swing it back to FE again because it's almost been a month since they were meant to get a signing bonus. Apparently, Remy hasn't received anything, to my knowledge, and he's one of our players. So obviously, I'm gonna be talking with him because I want to make sure he's being treated well. Hasn't received shit.
He was our boy first, mate. He was ours first.
Yeah, but then you gave him the social media.
Then you let him go. So that's
Yeah, I know. Yeah, fuck Fortnite.
that's why we got out of it as well. Honestly,
no. Look, I'm still in Fortnite. I do enjoy it for the content side of things, but fuck that scene, man. That scene
video
is
the other
so
day.
Yeah,
fucking
Nody
annoying.
gang.
It's so saturated, but we can touch on it as much as we want. I just want to see it get resolved. Hopefully, we can cover it in another week. But I think we need to go into like a more lighter notes overall. Which this is a really positive thing. LCS announcing a 7-year deal
Woo!
with FTX for some money similar to TSM. Now, what I find really fucking ironic is how the LCS has a clause in their contract saying not to promote any crypto sponsors associated with teams, and then they get a crypto sponsor as a primary sponsor of the league.
Well, that would be why. That would be why.
Yeah.
Like, you can't. Yeah.
Like if you go out like the league.
No, this was before.
Would be like,
this is before that partnership. Like,
yeah, that machine talks about it though.
There would have been in talks about it for sure.
Yeah.
It's almost like Turtle Beach sponsoring like some CS league, and you rock up with your Astros, are going to get you to tape the sponsor logo or some shit like that.
The question I've got is if TSM's going to be able to promote the same
surely.
sponsor.
Yeah, good point.
Surely they'd like partner.
That's the point I'm getting at there because I find that
there goes the cam.
their name.
Oh, we lost Joe.
Are you there?
Cam's gone.
No, he's there. He's back.
I'm
waiting for it to pop up on OBS because that's where I can see him, and it just looks like a grey mass.
I'm not important, all right? It's okay.
He looks like a QR code right now.
Does it say how much they've actually been given? Because TSM was
like
220 mil, I think.
Yeah, it's got to be more than that. It's
Yeah,
be like a bill.
Where is it? Most improved player. Where is it? Creates a gold advantage with FTX. So Exchange will present the most improved player award in FTX Gold across all LCS matches.
It's like an MVP.
So
yeah,
it's like an MVP award, pretty well.
Okay.
But there hasn't really been any specific instructions about it, which I find rather odd,
big.
honestly, because it doesn't say anything. It just says basically there's meant to be a most improved player, which is to be voted on by basically all writers, media, and team representatives. Total team gold and those roller coaster gold graphs will all be presented by FTX. They haven't really stated too much at all.
Tell you what,
I find extremely confusing.
There's some genuine Karens in those comments whenever anything signs to a crypto space. Hey, it's just like either move on with the world or fuck off. Like,
leave the times.
Like, we're literally, there's literally nothing you can do anymore without someone complaining. But to be fair, crypto and esports, in my opinion, like that's huge. Like that's massive. Like there's going to be some downsides to it. We've seen that whole FaZe debacle with the Save the Kids crypto pump and dump. So I can understand there's probably a little bit of hesitancy with a lot of people wanting to have crypto shoved in their face, something probably they just enjoyed. But I think, in my opinion, I think it's huge for any esports or any tournament organization just to have that space as a sponsor or as a partnership deal. It's just going to open up so many avenues for so many other things because it's a non-esports orientated business coming into esports. So it's just, in my opinion, it's massive.
Yeah, we need it in every format, really. Every region needs something like that. Like McDonald's is huge for FaZe. No one can argue that.
Yeah,
like they've just
we need to mention that as well because I did remove it off the sheet just because I didn't know about the time because it seemed like we had a lot. But Tom, if you want to discuss that, I think because I think it's a very weird thing because
it's brilliant.
listen. So in some aspects, I think it's a good thing, but on other ways, what they've proposed is it's meant to be drawing a line. I think it's like it's meant to have something to do with diversity. It's a content series built around diversity in companies or something like that.
Yeah, so it's within you're on the right track. It's diversity within esports, within generalization of sports and society. So it means that anyone can do anything they want, which is what Mac has been portraying with like what type of employees they have. What there's no like, say you're gonna use religions here. Like if you're Muslim or Christian, they don't give a shit. You're a person that's gonna work for them, and they'll train you up as an equal, which is what everyone should be treated as, is an equal. So by having these large amount of diversities come in, then come out the other side, you're all the same. That's what FaZe and Macas are working on, which is brilliant. It's a lighter side to life.
It's probably a smart idea as well after this whole pump and dump bullshit.
Oh yeah,
it
looks like a sweep under the rug.
It's a save.
It seems it's like a cover up for it, because I think it's rather ironic. Obviously, it's a really, really good thing, but I think it's ironic how they can, have individuals do that and then get away with it, and now they're going through the process of trying to get them called out. But I think it's
treat
a cool
everyone
thing.
equally,
Has already
but
been
we'll
involved
still
in
take
the
your money.
esports. Yeah, but we'll still take your money. That's
Still take your money.
that's how the big dogs work, apparently. Yeah, that's
Exactly.
How it works.
You should know. You should work for Telstra.
Macca's as a brand, it's been like they've been in esports. Like before the LCO and the OPL was around, they were a primary sponsor for that as well for us. So they've definitely been in the esports space before, not on that level, I'd say, of FaZe. I think it's probably the biggest McDonald's sponsorship that's happened as of yet. And as someone who's worked for the company, I would 100% agree. Like they are a pretty good company to be working for, and like they do not really, what's the term? God damn it. They don't point you out as being an individual that's different from everyone else. Obviously, there's people who work for them who can be, so discrimination as well. Like there are people who work for them and, respective stores who are a bit of a prick, and they do discriminate people, which is, just fucking stupid, if you ask me. But yeah, I mean, they're a really good company to look up to as well. Like they're probably one of the brands that you really want to be keeping an eye on, because they've done everything right. Like they're a really, really good company.
And they make good burgers.
Amen.
Depends on which ones you look at.
Yeah, what's your go-to burger, Jamie?
If you're calling a filet of fish a good burger, I'm honestly just gonna.
I will get up and leave.
You can't go past the standard Big Macs, can you?
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's bog standard. I can deal with that. The basic burgers are good, and I think the gourmet shit is just a bit overkill, personally.
Yeah,
gourmet shit's like heat. What do you mean?
Depends on which ones you look at.
Hey, yo, the chicken classic. Muy bueno, baby.
I don't go to Macca's for chicken though. I go to KFC for chicken.
I love how this turned into this was a 5-minute conversation on the LCS deal. It's turned into a 20-minute conversation about Macca's.
Fuck yeah.
That's how it is. That's
how it works here.
That's how it works. I mean, I guess, to get back on topic, let's talk about fuck
yes.
this.
Yes, my boy.
JHB basically took over the 100 Thieves Twitter for 4 days. Within 4 days, now it was 100% a publicity stunt, which I can respect. But the part that wasn't a publicity stunt, changing the @ on the 100 Thieves Twitter to 100 JHB, that wasn't a part of that. That was him being a fucking idiot. That also got rid of the verification badge on the 100 Thieves Twitter account.
Oh, that is some of the funniest social media management shit I've ever seen in my life. If that
wasn't even planned either.
But if that was a planned marketing scheme to just say change the Twitter @ and just just create an absolute shitstorm about the 100 Teeth Twitter, that is a masterstroke. That is fucking fun. I think the whole thing was genuinely perfect. I think it was fucking brilliant.
I think I put it well. It's like the 1 million follower idea. So the $1 million idea. Like they hit 1 million off it, which that was the entire plan behind it. I think they did really well. I watched the podcast that came out the day after that happened, and that was the funniest thing I've ever listened to, because Nade just went absolutely fucking in on him.
Yeah.
Because originally it was planned to be some very, very basic stuff, and then he's just like, yeah, so what made you think that was a good idea? And do you understand how much you had to go through to get re-verified? I'm like, well, tough
They're
shit.
They're re-verified now, aren't they?
Yeah, they
got
are.
re-verified.
Thank
Everything's
God,
back
thank
to
God.
normal.
Thank
yeah.
God.
I said they have Twitter contacts, Tony. That's different,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's easy.
Yeah.
But no,
It's
that's
fucking-
probably some of the funniest Twitter interactions I've ever seen in my life. Like even the COO just like getting ghosted,
Oh, yeah.
and he posts a screenshot like, "Hurry up and answer your phone, JHP." Like this is serious.
Oh, God. Because the other thing as well, there was some aspects of that. If he went too far out of his way, I feel that could have gone just so much worse.
You could have
Like,
got fired.
The amount of sponsors that those guys have. I think my favorite response was that I sent it to Tony where they said, "Twitter Gaming, can you help?" And Twitter Gaming responded saying no. That's it. Nothing else.
No.
That was brilliant. Like it was a stroke of masterpiece, but like
Yeah.
anything that wasn't planned, I could just imagine he's gonna get absolutely just torn apart for that.
No, I
honestly.
think that's just a genuine running joke. It's just going to be a meme in that
Yeah.
office from now on. I think
He's already a meme. I think he's the only individual that like he just randomly popped out of nowhere as an intern. He's turned himself into this brand, so it doesn't like he's the perfect display of like you don't need anyone to you don't really need to have as much going for you. You just need to be in the right place at the right time.
He knew the mob
And-
guys, I think.
Yeah,
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 he was the editor for Frosty.
Yeah.
Yeah, so even then, right, he's putting himself in a position where he's starting to promote himself and put himself out there. This personality, which is unknown, and he pushes himself on the top of that food chain because he's actually outgrown some of the people in a
that he's
Yeah.
managed.
which is fun,
yeah.
which is hilarious.
It's almost like I don't know if you guys ever watched like those Optic videos. I think it was Smooth Competition with Brisk Mate, and Hitch was that kind of meme joke about everything. So like he'd always be the last one picked. He was just the one that got picked on by everyone. And now he's probably like one of the most successful streamers with that Team Summertime. What he's got going on Twitch with those other two boys. And like JHB is basically the 100T version of Hitch in a way.
Yeah, I was gonna mention Fed from Offline TV before the whole incident. So Fedmeister, he was the editor for like League of Legends for the like over there in NA, and then he became the Offline TV editor, and then he just blew up for making content, just like getting bored doing random shit in the Offline TV house, and then obviously he crashed and burned with that.
It's
Stuff
just
he did.
it's just the old adage, like content is key. Like it doesn't matter, like just there's so many personalities and there's like so many brands out there that are missing out on just like I can almost assume most of them sit in Discord calls, they talk shit, they probably say something funny. Like if you just did that into like a setting where you can create a series of it. Like literally the other day I was speaking to the COD guy and I said, dude, just fucking do me a video. He dressed up in a fucking dry fit and a going out jacket, looked like he was about to stab someone on a train and did a video for me. I thought that's brilliant. Just do something. Just fucking do something. And
I think
it's so
one of the
annoying.
perfect examples. One of the perfect examples of that is one of our Siege players, right? So in OCL interviews, Cake who basically got picked up from the Skyfire team when he left and came to us. His last
Was
three
this before
interviews,
or after Overt picked him up?
This
Before
is
or
before.
after?
So
Okay.
basically, he has done his interviews. The first one he did in a tuxedo, so he did an interview in a tux. He won up that. The next one, he pulled out an ironing board during his interview and started ironing his clothes on stream mid-interview. Third interview, pulled up a table with a glass of wine, a fully cooked meal, and started eating it in a tux in front of the stream while doing an interview. So, it's beautiful.
It's like Spiddock on the ANZ Champ streams. I think
Yeah.
he plays the Dynasty. He's got like the El Camino hats. He's got like 20 of them. So you know he's a good time. I've actually met Spiddock when I was down in Melbourne with the CS guys. He's one of the funniest guys. And like what Dynasty's doing there, they did a few video ideas. I hope they keep that up. Like if anyone from Dynasty listens to this, keep like your content personalities at your forefront. Fuck the results. Like, don't worry about the results. Just be funny. Like, just trust me, it'll work in the long run. And that's like, like Ruffleco for us, I suppose. He's an idiot.
Yeah.
He's a fucking, he's a pain in the ass. Like, he's a pain in the ass. One of the funniest human beings that I've ever met. But like, you know what I mean? Like, just let them be themselves, but just like, I don't know, open up a little bit.
Literally,
please.
we literally had Jimmy on last week on the podcast as well. Like even this is just us, like showing our actual personalities and talking a bit of shit as well. We had Jimmy on for our last episode, and we talked about a bunch of CS stuff.
Have you heard of a
I've
salad?
never been. Yeah.
What is a
that
salad to
conversation-
you, Jamie? Does a salad have lettuce?
Yes.
There you
Yes,
go,
it
Joe.
does.
Joe, that was a
Yeah,
salad.
see? The salad.
Salad.
Fuck you.
Let's run a gag from
I'll
last week.
I'll send you a clip from last week because my head actually hurts after the conversation we had. But
Oh
like we
my
had
God.
Jimmy on, and it was literally just an hour of just talking, just him going in on other competitors, just eating
Calling
shit.
Tony
Like,
stupid.
Yeah,
he-
that's how it should be.
Like he straight up just talked bulk shit for an hour, which is actually going up tonight as well. So
Mm.
that's going to be rather interesting to see the response, and I hope he doesn't get cancelled for it. But fuck it, right? So, yeah, I think people need to really just rely on their content more because, again, like there isn't many teams in OS doing content as well. There's only a couple teams like Dynasty, Vertex, us, Order,
Mindfreak have started recently as well. Mindfreak
really fucking well.
Yeah,
Kinda shaky,
they're getting
kinda
freaked
shaky.
out.
Started. Direwolves have like set the bar. Wolves have set
Yeah.
the bar. They have done so very well at the moment.
But that was only until recently that they started to really push that side. Obviously, since the acquisition of the new CEO from that, I think Dave Harris, is it? Is that him? Is that who picked them up, or
It's,
his firm? Who was it? I can't remember. Well, either way, like their content game has picked up massively too. Ever since MJ picked up Mindfreak, their content game has picked up massively too. I'd love to see more of it. Like literally, you can just get into a call with, if you have one team, doesn't matter if it's Rocket League, COD, Fortnite, whatever. Just come together, brainstorm, and say we're going to dedicate one night every 3 weeks, and we're just going to play bulk games. Just do a couple of hours, have a few drinks if you're of age, obviously, have some fun. Come up with anything. Like just change the fucking keybind on your keyboard mouse. Go play a matchmaking game and just take the piss out of it. Like just do something. Like just anything, please. Like this
Do it in a
scene
5
needs
stack
more.
as well. Don't be the guys that do 4-man and leave the one guy wondering what the fuck's going on. That sort of thing.
No,
Thought
that's
I
even
mentioned that
funnier.
just in case we're encouraging people to piss off the people who are trying to be there for.
Go into your ranked
Just-
games is what we're saying.
There's always someone like that, but I mean,
Tony.
I want to see more, even players as well. There's not many that regularly stream or do any, brands engaging content and building a name for themselves. I think one of the key ideas, I think I'm just going to put our PUBG team on the line here as well, because they've been streaming a lot, all 4 of them, and they're averaging like 500 viewers. Because they're literally doing streams for the Thai leagues that they got declined to compete in because we're not Thai. So that's fun. But they're basically they're doing viewing parties and they're getting like 400, 500 viewers.
Yeah.
So even then, it's just small shit like that, and that works.
Yeah, it sounds stupidly cliche, but if you just be yourself, you've got a little bit of funniness about you. Like far out, man.
You're not trying to impress any women or men here, guys. We're just be yourself.
Don't know about you, Joe.
Listen, I'm not here to start dating. This is not a dating show, right? If I wanted to be dating show, I'd make
There's a content idea. Bring the heat. Fucking dating show. Do it.
That's on the list.
That's Tony's show. We need that for Tony. He's drier than the Sahara Desert.
I'll be the troll. I'll be episode 1.
We'll actually sign up Tony for Beauty and the Geek, and we'll get him on there as a content idea.
Fuck.
Tony would bang that show though. It'd just be Tony like, yeah, I play video games. I cast CS. What's CS? Oh, it's where you shoot people in the
on
head.
Computer.
I'm
Yeah,
the voice of LPL, baby.
Voice of LPL legends every Monday, Tuesday, baby. But yeah, content.
Yeah, pretty
honestly,
much.
fuck people. Honestly, fuck them all. They need to start stepping shit up. Even
Yep.
we only started this podcast as well because we just wanted some content to do for Fury because we've been on a dry spree for months. So we're like, fuck it, why not just do this?
Not my fault.
It's like
I'm innocent as the
literally a
content manager. I'm innocent.
CS off season fucking kills me, man. I hate it. It's like I'd have nothing to do. Luckily, COD guys have been there, but it's just if I can say one org who I'd love to see a little bit more content out of it. You mentioned them a little bit earlier, Joe. Overt. They have a really good branding opportunity, and they've got a really good loyal following, and they basically own Fortnite outside of power in terms of our region. And that's my opinion anyway. I feel like they're big on it. Do a little bit more. Like just instead of doing your fucking little random shit tweets, like make a video. Like get you guys in, do something. Like make it a weekly series. Do something that's just going to boost your brand on a more personal level. So people like the people involved, not just your logo. I feel like they need to do a little bit more of that, and that's constructive criticism, not bagging them out like we've probably done to a few other orgs tonight.
Listen, some of them are all fairness, but Obeo, I know you listen to this, buddy. Take Jamie's advice, yeah, because I've said this to you before. You got a good brand. Now you got to start to work around it as well. You've built a good foundation. But we've had a good chat, guys. It's an hour in. For once, we actually haven't gone over, which is always lovely. I know we go off for an extra 20 minutes just on a tangent about random shit. But, the final thing, we love this little segment, the hotspot. Now, this week there hasn't really been that much, if I got to be real. There's no massive fuck-ups. I'm not really going to say mine until the end. So once again, we're going to get our guest to go first, Jamie. So basically, you've got the hot and the flop this week. So the hot is positive.
Yep.
The flop is what you expect it to be.
So basically, just out of anything esports orientated, I think the hot has to be 100 T's fuck up with JHB, putting him in social media management. That definitely made my week in a very boring lockdown life at the moment. So thank you very much, 100T, for that. And I think the flop is just it's very torn. Actually, I was pretty torn on this. It's been two of our topics. Was either the Trident CS announcement or GLM not posting anything about their COD team, but I'm going to go with GLM. I just feel like that's a little bit more disrespectful in terms of, and like just picking up a team to begin with and preferring to make a impressions tweet when these guys are literally playing for the biggest competition that they've probably played in their lives. So fuck you. That's shit. Be better. Done.
Do better. Done. Tom, what are you feeling?
My hot for the week will have to be 100 Thieves as well. JHB, sorry. Fucking it up completely. It was brilliant. But I'm going to go one step further on GLM for my flop. How about you get an original logo? You have an ore and you literally have such an opportunity on the friggin' chemistry chart to use something creative, and you picked to rip off one of the biggest orgs in the world. That is a failure in branding, as simple as that.
So yeah, Direwolves, if you're out there, get rid of your logo, right?
Yeah. Wasn't going to say anything.
Like, we might be an X and an
Tom,
F, but fuck. Come on. Their header is literally an intro.
Fnatic ripoff when we started, so I wouldn't say we're a Fnatic ripoff. I think people are just a bit stupid.
Oh yeah, we don't look like a fucking. Fanatics is literally like a Japanese gate.
They ruined their own logo, right?
Yeah.
That's they ruined their rebrand. But Tony, what are you feeling? You've probably got some strong opinions on some of the shit we said.
So it was a strong. I have to, obviously JHB takes the cake. It was fucking just top tier content, fucking top tier shithousery. Props to 100T. That's a banger. That's got to be my hot spot of the hot of the week. The flop. Look, I'm gonna say the flop was MoeycQ talking shit about Lese. I'm not gonna lie, that was just poorly done, lad. That was just not it.
Winning your whining.
I had a good laugh about that one. I was just like, oh yeah, Lese are a bad team, but yet they beat you in the semi-finals. Unlucky.
Beat you three times.
Yeah.
Twice at a best of 3 and once at a best of 1. So not a very good track record. So it's quite shit, honestly. But yeah, I guess again, JHB for me, nothing's gonna beat that. That's
all from 4.
I think that's gonna be it for the month. Honestly, nothing's gonna beat that unless someone comes out with another crypto deal next week. But the flop, I think, fuck you, Trident. Get good, honestly, get good graphics. Use them. Tony, you're right.
He's got fucking twin handguns just aiming at everybody right now.
Hold up.
He pulled out a gel blaster or something.
Oh,
I've been ready for this.
It's a Nerf gun. He's got like a Nerf gun. He's got a Nerf gun.
Is it he has to have that registered as a firearm these days.
At least he's got a registered ABN.
Shout out to the boys out at Haven Esports.
Big ups, Haven Esports.
I was gonna grab like my Nerf gun and like the cowboy hat and just
that's a meme we can use for Twitter.
The whole post up routine. I could use that at some point, but Trident, fix your shit. Otherwise, Crenux, please just get a better org to play for.
Or just retire.
And on the other side of things, I'm just going to tie it with GLM. You guys need to just fucking step it up. You're not an org. You're a Fortnite team. I'll leave it at
But
that.
not even that. I
Professional.
think it's not even that. It's an impression Twitter page. That's what that is.
It's a
And
clout
they
war.
do. Okay, hey, they do YouTube content. They do montage and all that sort of stuff. But that's the player montages coming onto their personal thing. You know what I mean? That's basically like me going to the CS guys, ripping their videos, putting it on the Vertex YouTube. That's not promoting players, in my opinion. I feel like that's kind of stealing content.
Yep. 100%.
But here's the
Even
thing:
if
you
you
have the
ask
players
for
there.
it.
Yeah, you have the players there that are literally gifting you this content. Do something creative with it instead of making a tweet of how many people you're going to pick up based on how many likes. Like, it's just shit.
I
We
find
get
it
an ABN
ironic.
check,
It's like they're
please?
called impressions. They're called impressions, but you're not impressing anyone.
Oh
It's the
damn!
complete opposite.
Oh,
Oh, damn.
wordplay from Tom.
Yeah. Fix your shit, guys. But you know, it's been a fun day. You know, we've had a bit of a chat here. We've talked a bunch of shit. Hopefully, we get to see Jamie back on here in the future once more stuff starts to ram up towards the end of the year. Obviously, we're probably going to go into a bit of a quiet period heading into the next couple of months just due to off season. But Tony, as per normal, if you want to just close things out ever so, I don't know, ever so lovely, slightly.
Ever so
what would you
rangery.
do at this point?
That's-
Rangery.
Yeah,
Fucking ginger.
well, I'll actually close with an announcement. Tom has just so gracefully let me know that we are
An
merging.
hour ago.
Yeah, an hour
Yeah,
ago.
an hour
Yeah,
ago.
it's been a hot minute. We've been talking a lot. Of course, we are currently going to merge the Bring the Heat podcast Twitter with all of our 76 followers or something like that, I believe. And we're going over to the Fury Twitter. So, boys, you can join us on the Fury Twitter and you can check out, of course, anything podcast and anything Fury related, of course, on the YouTube channel is where you'll find this episode and future ones and past ones, of course. Podbean, Anchor FM, Apple Music, Spotify, the whole shebang. We'll keep you in the loop. Of course, we'll probably put it on the Twitter.
Also,
we'll let
check
you know.
out the TikTok page as well.
TikTok,
there's a bunch
Fury-
of random clips that get thrown up on there. Just
Fury
really out of context.
BL. Fury
Yeah,
Global.
there you go.
Without
Yeah,
the OA.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because we don't. The app was taken.
Yeah.
Besides that.
Unlucky.
I can just put an eye on the end.
But you can check out the Great Salad Debate. I'm sure that will. I believe that's already up. So yeah, you'll get a little bit of insight to what we were.
It's a
talking about
fucking
as well.
salad, Joe.
It's a fucking salad, Joe. That has been Bring the Heat episode 4. Of course, you can check it all out on the socials. Until next time, we will be back with more esports and everything else in the next one.